reaches reaches on all our social media platforms, that is Facebook and Instagram, and X on Icon Radio KE. Stream us live on Icon Radio, www.iconradio.co.ke, and send us a message. Tell us what you think about Sustainability Connect on +254 788 380030. And we are super glad that you could join us this wonderful Wednesday. And right after this break, we're going to be discussing a very pertinent issue that, you may think does not affect us, but it does. And we're going to be discussing who it affects the most and why we should take action. And the topic today is climate justice. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to be talking about climate justice right here on the #1 entertainment plug. We are the first radio show in Kenya dedicated to climate and sustainability topics, and we'll be raising awareness and about pressing environmental issues in the country. And we are going to be focusing a lot and inviting guests to help us understand what sustainability is all about. So join us once we get back right after this break.
Days are new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, but where are my blue skies? Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright.
I'll be honest with you.
I almost gave up.
I'm gonna be when this is over.
Smile, even though I hurt, see I smile. I know God is working, so I smile. Even though I've been here for a while.
What you do?
I smile.
Come on and
smile. It's so hard to look up when you've been down. Sure would hate to see you give up now.
God's people.
You look so much better when you smile. So smile.
Now every day ain't gonna be perfect, but it still don't mean today don't have purpose. Come on.
Today's a new day, but there is no sunshine. Nothing but clouds, and it's dark in my heart, and it feels like a cold night.
It ain't easy, but
today's a new day. But tell me, where are my blue skies?
Where is that love, y'all?
Where is the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright.
The truth is,
I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain.
that Holy Ghost power, y'all.
Fell from heaven like a shower down.
Now I know we've been hurt, y'all, but still,
I smile,
come on.
even though
that feels good.
I know God is working, so I smile.
All things are working.
Even though I'm in it for a while,
Still,
I smile, smile.
hallelujah.
So hard to look up when you've been down.
I know it's hard right now
Sure would hate to see you give up now.
because you're a winner.
You look so much better when you smile.
You look better.
So smile.
Dallas,
You look so much better when you
New Orleans,
You look so much better when you
come on, Cleveland,
You look so much better when you
Detroit,
You look so much better when
yeah, Philly,
so much better when you
Jersey,
so much better when you
LA.
so much better when you
All my people say,
You look so much better when you smile.
see, I just don't want you to be happy, because then you got to have something happen then. I want you to have joy, because can't nobody take that from you. I see you. Smile.
My baby on a Saturday night. Go with you, you stay everything. Now I believe in miracles, and a miracle is happening tonight. You're thinking about my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white. My message in the side of the sun. I had to tell him I ain't second to none. And I told about equality, and it's you either you're wrong or you're right. But if you're thinking about my baby, it don't matter if you're black or white. Don't look at that.
Protection for gangs, clubs, and nations, causing grief in human relations. It's a turf war on a global scale. I'd rather hear both sides of the tale. See, it's not about races, just places, faces. Where your blood comes from is where your space is. I've seen the bright get duller. I'm not gonna spend my life being a color.
Sarah, you agree with me when I saw you kicking dirt in my eye. You're thinking about my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white. I said, you're thinking about my baby. It don't matter if you're black or white. I said, you're thinking about my brother. It don't matter if you're black or white.
That is Michael Jackson right here playing on Icon Radio. Thank you so much for streaming in live on www.iconradio.co.ke. And thank you so much for all your love on Instagram and Facebook. That is Icon Radio KE. This is definitely Sustainability Connect right here with your girl, Wanjira. I've always forgotten to introduce myself. I don't know why I keep forgetting introducing myself. So my name is Wanjira and I'm your sustainability advocate. And today we're going to be talking about climate justice. I know a lot of you do not understand what climate justice is all about, but that is why we are here. And in Kenya, a lot of things are happening, and a lot of people do not understand the whole sustainability, climate change talk. And our focus is to help you narrow down and understand what climate justice and climate jargon is all about. And that is what we're discussing today. And one way of discussing climate justice is just to help you understand what it is all about. So basically, climate justice in Kenya is how do we treat people or communities, particularly the marginalized groups, in addressing the effects of climate change. Like, for example, when it was recently flooding and, who were the most affected people? People with disabilities were really affected. They could not walk around. People who could not see were actually very affected. People who are living in, slums, high-risk areas were really affected. And this is what climate justice is all about. We're trying to see how do we push the government and push individuals to become more responsible in making decisions that are affecting anyone and everyone in the whole spectrum of the world, so that they are able to navigate the effects of climate change in a more effective way. So that is what climate justice is all about. Fair treatment of all people and communities, particularly the marginalized groups, in addressing the impacts of climate change. So we emphasize the idea that those who are responsible for causing climate change, often suffer the gravest consequences. So we need to have certain interventions to help them, to help people who are suffering or people who are marginalized within the community to navigate through the whole aspect of climate change. So that is a discussion that we're going to be discussing today. What are some of the topics that climate justice talks about? What are some of the effects? What are some of the actionable plans that we need to take as a government and also as individuals? And one thing that we always say on Climate Sustainability Connect is we love interacting with you guys. We love getting to hear what you guys are going through. Like, if you were affected and you're a person with disabilities, or you're living in a marginalized community, or you just feel like you're feeling unfairly treated because the roads are not well built, water is not available, drainage systems are not well built in your communities, talk to us. Send us photos, interact with us, and tell us these are the issues that are affecting us as a community, and we'd want the government to address these issues so that we may feel part of the conversation. Because there is no way you're talking about climate change and you're not involving everyone. So we want everyone to be involved, and we want you to be part of this conversation. So reach us out on WhatsApp +254 788 380030, or you can send us a message on Instagram or on Facebook, that is iconradio.ke, and let us find out what it is that you feel the government needs to address at this particular period of time. So when we come back, we'll be discussing more actionable steps that will tutakuwa tunawapea ideas. Our work is to help you understand what it is that we need to do. So see you after a short break.
Barua toka jana Mogi na Kenyatta, wanauliza kama Kenya kuko sawa. Nikawajibu Kenya tuko na disaster, watoto wetu wanazidi kuzikana, na Tomboya ameshika tama, alituacha kama angali kijana. Je, angekuwa mambo yangekuwa sawa? Ndivyo walivyopanga Maulana. Deni mulizoacha bado tunalipa, na tumekopa zingine China, tukajenga reli pia barabara, zilizobaki watu wakasanya. So tujiangalie,
tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana, tujiangalie bane, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Waumini kwa matrina, pasi kwa bima, kushoto fungu la 10, sadaka kulia. Ndio maana mbele ya kanisa mheshimiwa anakula sakramenti kabla ya raia. Siku za mwisho zimeshawadia na revelation inatuambia hii generation inachoma picha, ni generation yetu, so tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana, tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Alisema tufungeni mikanda, ona leo twavuna tulichopanda. Kura zetu zilitugawanya, makabila na pesa pia tulimanga. So when you make your bed, usingizi gani tumelala? Tutajua tujui, Vision 2030 tabaki ni story. Tujiangalie, tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, sikio la kufa halisikii dawa, tuko kwa Twitter tunajibizana, tujiangalie. Tuko pabaya leo kuliko jana, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga kuta, tusake zetu tungali vijana.
Dosi aliniambianga freedom never comes for free. We vote tribe, I'm a real cash, ask Boni. Tuna Roma lia mwezi tajesu plus dogi. Wal mzima Twitter keotindo fast body. Ban pictures in Africa, black coffee and none. I'm richer than my neighbor, but we're both in a slum. If the rich always win, why should the popular run? Unless democracy ni what use them are only for fun. Yeah. Na hii weekend tuko church, tunauza sura kabisa. Post ya haga wenda poa sana na caption ya scripture. Kayo ndo gospel, pitisha bagi ya sadaka kwa club, yeah. Traffic madrag ubaendai, traffic mandai zina drag. Kwa maya mwizi amemeki stories za shamba amegrab. Kono inahonga imevaa bracelet ya color za flag, yeah.
Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, best thing in the world. Never trade you for anybody else. And a brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. I never trade you for anybody else. Singing.
She says she really grew up poor like me. Don't believe in nothing but the Almighty. Just a little jeans and a pure whitey. She never dreamed forever be nobody wifey. Yeah. She well, I mean, a pretty but your heart is a miss. Playing like a villain cause she caught in a web. Tonight I am walking away. 9 to 5 mine and I grind, yeah. Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fights it by falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. Your back against the world. I never trade you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in all the world. I never trade you for anybody else.
Pose like a trophy when Naomi's walking. She need an Oscar for that pretty dark skin. Pretty like Lupita when the camera's closing. Drip broke the levee when my Kelly's rolling. I think tonight she might braid her braids. Melanin too dark to throw her shade. She minds her business and winds her waist. Go like 24K. Okay.
Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fighting but falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I never tried you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing about the world. I never tried you for anybody else.
Oh, have you looked in the mirror lately? Wish you could trade eyes with me. Cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth, you be giving birth to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single curve, your body natural. Same skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus view, but when you're in the room, they notice you. Cause you're beautiful. Yeah, you're beautiful. Them and them gon' fall in love with you in all of your glory. Your skin is not only dark, it shines and it tells your story. Keep dancing, they can't control you. They watch and they all adore you. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told you. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I never tried you for anybody else. Say brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing about the world. I never tried you for anybody else. Say
Skin girl, your skin just like pearls.
That is Beyonce with the song Brown Skin Girl. And right before that was Tujiangalie by Sauti Sol and Nyashinsky, right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. And I'm super, super, super excited. Thank you for joining us on Sustainability Connect. Join us every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And we're going to be discussing everything and anything about sustainability. And today we're talking about climate justice. And you can discuss and you can talk to us about all these issues. Let us know what it is that you feel that you as a Kenyan, haujakuwa included in the decision-making processes about climate change. And like I said earlier, what climate justice refers to is fair treatment for all people and communities. And we've been experiencing floods, and during these floods, a lot of people were looking at issues from two disparities. One, how prominent communities would get saving and get help, while other communities felt like they were neglected. And that is what we're going to be discussing. Fair treatment. Is it access to these communities or these spaces? Like, let's say in Madare, they were not able to access some of the places because, one, the roads are bad. I mean, the buildings that, got washed away, there was so much dirt that the cars could not go. Maybe Red Cross could not get there in good time. And a lot of people lost their lives because of late response. And we're looking at, and then you find another area like in Runda where they were using boats. And, some people may look at it and they may feel like there was a bit of unfair treatment, but sometimes it is beyond us. But there are some certain things that us and even the government, we can do to ensure that everybody around us, feels part of the conversation. And one of that is community-based adoption programs. We adapt programs that include everyone in the conversation. We empower local communities to adapt to climate change impacts. Like, let's say, for example, kama wewe umejenga in Mathare some shanties and, hakuna barabara. And every time it rains, there's going to be either flooding or there's going to be issues that come, disease that come with the rains. What is it that you as a landlord, because I'm pretty sure there are landlords in Mathare, what are you doing as a landlord to ensure that, your tenants do not feel like they do not fit into that community in terms of they're not able to access good housing? What can you do as a landlord? One is building in in a way that at least kila mtu ana feel hiyo place imejengwa vizuri. Kama ni place imeteremka, unaweza jenga maybe 2 steps, or maybe unaweza jenga maybe a roof over the down parts. What you can actually do is look at how do you build your pathways to allow access even to cars. Kama barabara kuna zile ati gari kubwa zinaweza pita, kunaweza acha barabara, space ya barabara where small cars can pass through, so that when there is an issue, maybe a fire has come, maybe kumekuwa na moto, maybe kumekuwa na floodings, maybe kumekuwa na an important emergency may happen, maybe msia anataka kupelekwa hosi, mnaweza acha barabara tafadhali. Stop building all the way to the roads where people cannot access. You get, so that those are some of the things that we can start doing as a community without even waiting for the government to come and intervene. We need to start looking at intervention methods us as individuals. So where we come a landlord, if you're building in an area that is so congested, why don't you just leave leeway for the roads so that can be accessible to ambulances, fire trucks? It can be accessible to even government intervention in government intervention strategies. So you as an individual, that is one thing that you need to start doing to give access to the community. Road infrastructure is one thing that has been talked about as purely built. And sometimes it's not the government, it is us. If you're selling your piece of land, make sure umeacha. Wanasemanga ni 30 meters, both sides. Wacha hiyo barabara, so that there is access to good roads, access to at least watu wafikiwe. You get? So those are some of the things that we need to be looking at. And also, for you to empower local communities, what are we doing about water harvesting? Kumenyesha, tumeona flood, but hiyo maji yote inaenda into waste. And we need to look at how do we harvest this water for home consumption, for agriculture. How we are we building gutters on our roofs? If you're building your palatial home, decide utaweka gutters ya kuharvest maji, alafu pengine kuna underground water tanks. How are you harvesting this water that you can use in the future? Na si ati in the far future, ni in the near future. Unaweza anza ka kitchen garden hapo nje. And for you to be able to do all this, you need to look at, how do you take steps as an individual? Si lazima tungoje watu wengine wakuja kuambie. Wewe chukua tu, jenga gutters when you're building, and ensure that people are accessing your building in a very seamless way. That is what I would say. So those are some of the ways of ensuring that there's fair treatment, in terms of ensuring that people are becoming resilient in living in their society. So that is what you're talking about when you talk about climate justice. Climate justice is just, what are some of the activities that we do that ensure that everyone around us has access to ease access of life. Like when you build gutters, unajua hapo hizo drops za maji, when people walk, they'll not trip and fall. When you build gutters also, when you're harvesting that water, you're assured that in the near future, with your kitchen garden, unaweza panda tu mboga, to viazi, to vitunguu hapo nje, and you do not need to necessarily go back to the market. So that is what you're talking about when you're talking about how accessible, when you're talking about fair treatment, we're not just talking about politically correct terms. You're talking about it from home policies, home, you and your household, what are you doing? And we believe that some of these actions are actions that drive and push the agenda of climate justice ahead, because people with disabilities feel like they are part of the conversation. We're also talking about renewable energy access. If you're providing access to clean and affordable energy sources, like let's say solar power to rural communities, you're helping in reduce, use of fossil fuels. And that way you're helping to mitigate climate change. So you're helping to improve the livelihoods of the people in those communities. So these are some of the interventions that we feel that when you're talking about climate justice, we need to embrace that. So when we come up back, we'll be talking about why are people planting trees and how does that affect climate justice. So see you at the after the short break.
I had a way then to see it all on my own. I had a heart then, but the queen has been overthrown. And I'm not sleeping now. The dark is too hard to beat, and I'm not sleeping now. The strength I need to push me. You show the light that stop me, turn to stone. You shine me when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that I'll be strong. Dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home. Calling, calling, calling home. Show the lights won't stop me, time to stop. You shine me when I'm alone. Says I play within my head, touch my own skin, and hope they'll still be there. And I think back to when my brother and my sister sat in an unloved place. The only time I feel safe. You show the light that stop me, turn to stone. You shine me when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that I'll be strong. Dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home. Calling, calling, calling home. Show the lights that stop me, time to fall. You shine me when I'm You show the light that stop me, time to stop. You shine me when I'm alone. And so I tell myself that I'll be strong. Dreaming when they're gone, 'cause they're calling, calling, calling me home. Calling, calling, calling home. You show the lights that stop me, time to stop. You shine me when I'm alone.
will say, I know we'll find us a way. I know there's nothing to say. I know we'll find us a way. I wonder what prophets will say. I know we'll find us a way. I know there's nothing to say. I know we'll find us a way. I wonder what prophets will say. I know we'll find us a way.
That is Irosh with the song Maheni, happening here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug in the 254. And the show today is Sustainability Connect with me, Wanjira, your your sustainability advocate, and today we are discussing a very pertinent issue that affects everyone: climate justice. And we are asking you to engage with us and tell us what your thoughts are on climate justice and what ideas you have about climate justice. And you can reach us on +254, that is +254 or you can live stream on www.iconradio.co.ke. You can reach us on Instagram and Facebook, that is Icon Radio KE. You can also follow us and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that is iconradio.co.ke, Icon Radio KE. And the show is Sustainability Connect. And like I said earlier, climate justice just refers to the fair treatment of all people and all communities, all around the country. And we're just talking about some of the things that we feel like communities and people should be engaged upon. And right before the break, I asked you, why do you think people are planting a lot of trees? By the way, on the 10th, did you plant trees? If you did, send us your photos, engage with us, and share with us what it is that you did on the tree planting day. And like I said, we are going to be giving gifts. We love giving gifts, and very soon we're going to be having giveaways. We're going to be having tickets. We're going to be having lots and lots of goodies for you to enjoy at home, courtesy of Icon Radio and our sponsors. And when you're talking about the reason why there's a lot of tree planting, there's a 15 billion project by 2032 that we need to have planted 15 billion trees in the country. And sijui umepanda ngapi? I don't know. Have you even engaged in any tree planting activity? And the reason for this is because as you can see, there has been a lot of deforestation. And when deforestation happens, then that means that there is no probability of having landslides and soil erosions are very, very high, because there is no barrier. Actually, trees the reason for that is just acting as barriers. And the more you deforest, the more soil erosion happens, and the more that, climate change happens. So the effects of deforestation are very, 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 we need to have initiatives. You need to be involved as an individual, also as an institution, in initiatives to plant trees, to restore the degraded landscapes. This is to help, provide soil conservation. There's also biodiversity conservation, sustainability, livelihoods, for all the local communities, because we need to stop the use of fossil fuels and emission of carbon, the emission of carbon into the atmosphere, which in effect causes climate change. And in that way, we become more prone to, the effects of climate change, like what we recently saw, very high rainfall magnitude, the earthquakes. Just recently, we had in Tanzania, they were really affected by, Hurricane Hadaya. And let me tell you, these are some of the effects of climate change. And the people who are most affected are the marginalized people. Well, everyone is affected, but there are people who really feel the effects of this. And we're just asking that some of the things that we need to do as a community is ensure that there's a safety within the community, that, when you're talking about reforestation, is not only to scatter carbon, but also to provide additional benefits, such as sustainability. And when you're talking about biodiversity, is the ecosystem within which we live in, the animals that are living within us. That is the domestic animals, the wild animals. Like, remember when we were when we were in primary school, we used to talk about why bees love nectar. You get. And apparently, if there is no nectar, then there are no bees, and then if there are no bees, then there is no honey. So that in its form is a way of telling us that we need each other, we need to coexist, that one cannot survive without the other. You assume that the flowers that the bees go and suck in the nectar from, do not need to be catered, to be taken care of. But in real sense, it is really, really important that we take care of our environment so that we can have the benefits out of it. If you go spraying, crops with harmful pesticides, then that means the consumption, if we eat the meat from, let's say, the cows and the milk that they produce, is going to be contaminated. And with that, we become affected. And you find a lot of cases of cancer have risen up. We find that a lot of people are getting affected by, bacterial infections, viruses that can easily be averted if we take care of each other and take care of the environment. And that is what we're talking about when we're talking about climate justice, because people who do not have the voice about, talking about the environment, talking about the infrastructure, talking about energy, talking about water, restoration, water, access to clean water. These people are the most affected. And the people who are supposed to be talking to them and for them are the parliamentarians, are the people who are making decisions in the government, are the people who are making, who are supposed to create change from policy levels all the way to action level, to implementation levels. And yet that is not happening. And our question is, who should we take to task when there is climate injustice? When all these people who've been affected by the floods, who is compensating them? Who is addressing this issue of, okay, flooding has occurred, people have lost their homes, people have lost their crops in the fields. Who is ensuring that these people get compensated? Are insurance companies on board? Is the government even tackling this issue? Are they raising this as a pertinent discussion right now? Or are we looking at, who's benefiting from it financially? So these are some of the questions that we are asking as part of climate justice. We want to know, all these people who are affected, what is the government doing? I mean, are there sustainable measures, sustainable intervention measures that ensure that the people who are affected do not feel the effects in the next 3-4 years? Or is it just a now, the problem is now, watu wamepigwa na maji right now, so we deal with this issue right now, and when another issue rises, then we'll deal with it later. What are we doing? What is the government doing? And we need to take to task everyone who's involved in ensuring that that there is proper infrastructure, there is access to clean water. What are the water bodies in the country doing now that diseases are on the rise because of the flooding? What are the people doing? What are people in the slums supposed to do? Who's addressing these issues? Who's talking about it? So let us engage in this conversation and let us know what community-based organizations are helping in tackling climate justice so that we can understand what is on the ground. Unajua manze, policy levels, things may be working, but on the ground, things are different. Vitu ni tofauti kwa ground. So community-based organizations, what intervention methods are we engaging in for us to ensure that we are tackling climate justice? So we are going to be discussing this further in a short while.
I wrote a letter, but you never ever see it. I made a promise that you never ever know. I think about you, but you never ever notice. We might be better, but you're probably okay. I'm here again, falling in love again. I'm here again, falling in love again. Singing I could forever. Singing I could forever. forever. Jumping and loving again. I drew this for you, but you'll never ever see it. I made a promise it could never ever show. I wrote this song, but you'll never ever hear it. We could be better, but you're probably okay. I'm here again, falling in love again. I'm here again, falling in love again. Just singing and I could sing forever. Something and I could sing forever. Jumping and loving in love again. I've had this feeling I could never ever tell you. I might be wrong, but we'd rather be my friend. Maybe in future lives we'll need to be together. We'll make a promise that we're gonna be okay. I'm here again, falling in love again. I'm here again, falling in love again. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and I could sing forever. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and I could love again. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and I could sing forever. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and I could love again. I'm here again, falling in love again. I'm here again, falling in love again. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and I could sing forever. Just singing and I could sing forever. Jumping and falling in love again.
Mama Luca, yo le digo a esta inene, we umwe wale, makire chorale. Mokehana, mahoa mehakaine, mokerutolora, uko marimaine. Año, porque se caerá quejar, que ajusta en era, aguda como fira. Me va de kiro, fuera va diricari, foroli muede, guay jore te mieke. Quiero todo de acu, que amo lo moiro, arena, a que liganera, matuko maige, namageteo, ohe autore. watonyirwa wera na pesa ciaritaya na nyumba yako irahurirwo munara nyohoro wakĩoha mũno kono gĩcurũri mbeca ciaku rũthingo-inĩ
Kendo mera, vile champion, Otis
champion. Otisana Munenoni, I'm a champion. Vile champion. Otisana Munenoni, I'm a champion. Amori ayoto ajawi. Vile champion. Batika woke jamisi. I'm a champion. Era mechkena media sali. Vile champion. Otisana Munenoni, I'm a champion.
That is Okello Max with the song Village Champion, happening here on, actually just playing, playing here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug. And this is Sustainability Connect with me, Wanjira, your sustainability and your sustainability advocate. And this is where we bring all conversations about sustainability, about climate change to the airwaves. And we are super glad that you could join us this wonderful Wednesday. And we've been talking about climate justice, some of the issues that are affecting marginalized communities. And, we are asking for fair treatment for all people in the country. And that is what climate justice is all about. And we are at the forefront of creating awareness about the issues that are surrounding the whole aspect of climate justice. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Thank you for, joining us on Instagram and Facebook. That is Icon Radio KE, and also live streaming on iconradio.co.ke, and also on WhatsApp, plus 254-788-38030. Remember, we are bringing climate and sustainability conversations to the airwaves right here on Icon Radio every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, where we're discussing everything about that. So thank you so much. Like we were talking about earlier about climate justice, and we were talking about some of the interventions that, we need to take up as individuals and also as government. And we need to ask the questions, and we also need to follow up on whether, there's activity that is happening around, climate justice. And when you're talking about policy frameworks, we need to have institutions and governments this is where public-private partnerships happen. PPPs, and where there's developing and enforcing the policies that promote equity and social justice in climate action. This involves measures such as inclusive decision-making processes, when you talk about land tenure reforms to protect the rights of indigenous people, incentives for private sector investments in climate resilient technologies. So we need policies around that. And this is where we talk about ESG in particular. And we look at how are we allowing the private sector investment to be part of the climate justice conversation? So we cannot have an oversight of the PPPs. So when we're developing policies and coming up with frameworks about governance, about inclusivity, about climate justice, we need to ensure that everyone is at the table, not just the government. So PPPs are very important, and we invite every stakeholder who's in part of government, who's part of private equity, to come and be part of this conversation on Icon Radio, where we discuss more about what more can we do, what policies do we need to create, or what policies can we develop to help in streamlining the climate justice and to ensure that there's actionable steps. There's so much talk, but we also need to have steps that are implementable and steps that are taken, and to ensure that everybody is equitable. So we are also looking at how do we monitor and evaluate, how do we track the distribution of resources and benefits from climate initiatives. We need accountability from both the government sector and also the private sector. We need transparency when you're talking about climate justice, so that we can be able to establish if let's say World Bank offered Kenya 1 billion shillings to, cover, or just to have an intervention during the flooding. We need to know who is accountable. who are we asking questions about? Where did the money go? We need transparency. We need, the government to come and tell us, you know what, we were given 1 billion by World Bank, and 500 million went to this particular project. 500 million, another 500 million went into, affordable housing to ensure that this, there is restoration of houses that were, affected by the floods. So we need to have effective measures of monitoring and evaluation. So I think for us, we need to establish mechanisms to track this distribution of resources and to ensure that, there's regular monitoring, there's regular evaluation that can help us identify the gaps and adjust to strategies that, meets the needs of these people. Unfortunately, I saw a post, I think was yesterday morning, where there was a landslide, or was it today morning, in Kimende? And so many people were trapped, and we pray that people were able to be evacuated. We've also seen houses that are, that are just, they crumbled down. And, we need to ask the questions of who do we question here for climate justice, because for the houses to crumble down and for the landslides to happen, there needs to be, when there's intervention by the government and the Red Cross, we also need to know what is the government doing to ensure that the livelihoods of these people is restored back to its normalcy. Like, how are the people who are affected by all these calamities, whether natural disasters or man-made disasters, how are they, compensated, or how are their livelihoods restored? So this is the conversation that we need to ask ourselves. Because of climate change, because of the high temperatures, because of the high rainfall that was happening in a couple of days, the earth is not very stable. So who's to compensate? Are insurance companies? Are there insurance companies that are, at the forefront saying, we are covering you, and saying, yes, natural disasters is also part of our insurance policies? Do you even know what insurance covers that you need to take to cover yourself against climate instigated issues? What are you aware of? Do you even know what you need to protect yourself from? Just the way you protect yourself from maybe health, maybe how you take an insurance for your health, or for your shop, or for your children, is the same way that you need to start looking at, if you're living in an area that is prone to disasters, can you take insurance, or do you need to take other measures? So these are some of the things that we need to start taking up as individuals and also as institutions to ensure that, that climate justice happens fairly for everyone. So also, like we said earlier, when we talk about collaboration, when we talk about fostering collaborations between government agencies and civil society organizations, the private sector and international partners, we need to look at engaging in dialogue. Sometimes we need to stop feigning in ignorance. This climate conversation is become so rampant at the moment, and if you're part of this conversation, then you're able to know what you need to do. So we need to stop feigning ignorance. We need to stop feigning the I don't know, kind of attitude, and we need to start taking actionable steps. Like I said, some of these intervention methods and interventions do not necessarily need the government. They just need you as an individual to take action. Remember, when you talk about recycling, reusing, or reducing waste in your households, that is just one of the intervention methods of, tackling climate change and tackling climate action. And this is what we're talking about. Climate justice is not designed for the government only. It is not designed for institutions. It is also designed for you as an individual. What actionable measures are you going to take to ensure that wherever you are, the ecosystem that you're within is friendly? That is one, is there's a circularity of it all. And whatever is affecting you, remember, it can affect the other person. So what are you doing to ensure that? Even when you're talking about agriculture, what solutions are we taking in terms of, ensuring that there is drought-resistant crops that are being grown. There is, agricultural interventions, is simple interventions, easy mechanisms that can be used by you as an individual to ensure that the agricultural sector, like right now, the bit of fake fertilizer is really high in the country, and we've been seeing how parliamentarians are just itching to impeach Mitheka Linturi, and we are asking you as an individual, before even the government intervenes on the fake fertilizer, what are you doing? Are you organizing organic waste? Are you collecting organic waste that you can also use to ensure that your soil and your your gardens are safe, so that even by the time you're talking about fake fertilizer, you have taken individual interventions in your home. So I think these interventions are what gear us or push us into what climate justice is all about. Just in as much as we're talking about fair treatment is not just for the government, it is also for you as an individual. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up this conversation on climate justice and some of the issues that you're addressing. And also we'll be looking at who are the companies that are at the forefront of ensuring that, climate action and climate justice are top of their conversation list. So we'll see you after a short break.
Don't it seem like I'm always there when it matters, but missing most of the other time, a terrible pattern. The rewards I see from working have made me an addict. There's way more people that want it than people that have it. I don't get it, I would hate to think I tricked them. They fall victim to my system, guess I sure know how to pick them. And I'm always a regret, yeah, I'm always a regret. And I always make it harder on whoever's coming next. It goes up and down, it's just up and down. She's crying now, but she'll laugh again, cause we on the rise and she here with us. And expensive shit just keeps happening and she loves it. And she stares at me like, who does this? And we hold hands while I pray that she's not the type to hold grudges. I'm wrong.
Good boys ain't no fun. Lord knows that I should run up with the right one. Even though it breaks my heart so bad, no bad, special thing going on. Mr. Wrong. Give me one kind of loves like that. Ain't no way that I love my Mr. Wrong. You're good. You call and I run. My feelings screaming at me, don't do it, baby. I guess no. Even though it breaks my heart so bad, there's something going on. The wrong. Sounds like that. I love my restaurant. So strong. I love even though it breaks my heart so bad. Going on.
labda simu hujaikata. Akifuani mwangu nitakuliwaza, na nitakesha nikikulinda ukilala. Najua unataka kile inataka, najua unapenda, nampenda yule, na tena mimi sina wivu, ila naomba ije sikujelewa, ije sikuje kuelewa thamani yako.
But I'm one call away. Ukinihitaji mpenzi, nipigie simu yangu. One call away. Ukinihitaji mpenzi, shujaa yako. One call away. Call me if you need me. Call me. One call away. Call me if you need me. Call me. Mapenzi hafai kuumiza, sasa nini unampendea? Mapenzi hafai kuuliza, kutwa umeshinda ukiang'ang'ania, wakati na kukosi furaha yako. Oh no, najua moyo unataka kile inataka, na leo unampenda yule, na tena mimi sina wivu, ila naomba ije sikujelewa, ije sikuje kuelewa thamani yako. One call away. Ukinihitaji mpenzi, nipigie simu yangu. One call away. Ukinihitaji mpenzi, shujaa yako. One call away. Call me if you need me. Call me. One call away. Call me if you need me. Call me.
There were nights when the wind was so cold that my body froze in bed if I just listened to it right outside the window. There were days when the sun was so cruel that all the tears turned to dust, and I just knew my eyes were drying up forever. I finished crying in the instant that you left, and I can't remember where or when or how, and I banished every memory you and I had ever made. But when you touch me like this, and you hold me like that, I just have to admit that it's all coming back to me. When I touch you like this,
just went on for days. When alone at last we count up all the chances that will last to us forever. But you were history with the slamming of the door, and I made myself so strong again somehow. And I never wasted any of my time on you since then. But if I touch you like this, and if you kiss me like that, it was so long ago, but it's all coming back to me. If you touch me like this, and if I kiss you like that, it was gone with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back, it's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things we'd never do again, but then they'd always seem right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than all your loves in love. Baby, 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 when you touch me like this, and when you hold me like that, it was gone with the wind, but it's all coming back to me. When you see me like this, and when I see you like that, then we see what we want to see, all coming back to me. The flesh and the fantasies, all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me If you forgive me all this, if I forgive you all that, we forgive and forget, and it's all coming back to me. When you see me like this, and when I see you like that, we see just what we want to see, all coming back to me. The flesh and the fantasies, all coming back to me. I can barely recall, but it's all coming back to me. It's all coming back to me now. And when you kiss me like this, it's all coming back to me now. And when I touch you like that, it's all coming back to me now. And if you do it like this, it's all coming back to me now. And if we When I first saw you, I saw love. And the first time you touched me, I felt love. And after all this time, you're still the one I love. Yeah. Looks like we made it. Look how far we've come, my baby. We might have took the long way. We knew we'd get there someday. They said, I bet they'll never make it. But just look at us holding
That is Shania Twain with the song Still the One right here on Icon Radio, your number one entertainment plug, and the show is Sustainability Connect. I'm your host, Wanjira, and thank you so much for joining us this day. For a brief moment over there, I was just internalizing our conversation today on climate justice. And I know it's a heavy topic. It's not easy to understand it, but we are here to help you understand what we discuss on Sustainability Connect, because we realized watu hawaelewi hii maneno. So our work is to help you understand what climate change is all about, what climate and sustainability conversations are all about, and also to ensure that you're part of the conversation, because it makes sense. It does not make sense for us to have this conversation if you're not part of this conversation. And having interventions and mitigation projects and policies and ideas and activities that help us mitigate climate change. So be part of this conversation on our social media. That is on Instagram, that is Icon Radio KE. You can also reach us out on WhatsApp, that is +254 788380030, and also you can stream us live on www.iconradio.co.ke and help us create awareness. Our main agenda here at Sustainability Connect is to create awareness. We are here to teach, to educate, and to, of course, entertain, and to ensure that you understand the concepts of what we talk about when you're talking about sustainability. And these are just simple intervention measures that we can do at home, in our institutions, in our corporates, in our pushing the government through participation in public dialogue. So we need you to be part of this conversation, and the only way you can do that is by ensuring that you take to task everything that we discuss here on Sustainability Connect. Remember, today, when we talk about climate justice, we're talking about fair treatment for all people and for all communities, especially the people who are marginalized, and addressing the impacts of climate change to the less privileged, or to the people who, let's say, quote unquote, marginalized communities. So that is what we're talking about, how we ensure that there's equal treatment for all. And we are talking about different companies that at the forefront, spearheading the whole aspect of climate justice and climate action. And we know that there are so many opportunities, and we know that there are so many startups that have come up with solutions to all our problems. And we believe that with the right investments directed towards this, then everybody can be included in these intervention methods. And several companies are spearheading. And like I said, number one, top of the list is Safaricom. Safaricom is just, being the leading telecommunications company in the country, it has really implemented a lot of sustainability initiatives that are aimed at reducing carbon footprints, promoting environmental awareness and conservation, and also they've really invested in renewable energy projects such as solar power installations and power operations sustainably. So that is one of the companies that we feel proud of, that they are starting this conversation, and they're always at the forefront with their sustainability reporting, and they are curating, they're carving a way for other people to emulate. Another company that is very, very keen on sustainability is EcoZoom. EcoZoom manufactures and distributes fuel and clean cook stoves, and these cook stoves usually use less fuel and actually produce fewer emissions compared to traditional cook stoves. So EcoZoom is also another company. Now, this is something that I really love. Bidco Africa. Bidco Africa is one of the largest consumer goods companies in East Africa, the biggest. We've all known Vimal Shah from way back, and they have implemented the sustainability initiative across all their operations, including waste management, water conservation, and renewable energy integration. And they've also invested in sustainable agricultural practices that help reduce, the environmental impact. And these are just some of the companies that are spearheading these conversations, and we ask you that you be part of. I mean, we're not just looking at corporates. There are also startups that have come up, focusing on ensuring that there's inclusivity, whether it's in education, whether it's in good planning, accessible urban planning. Angaza Elimu is one startup that is focusing on providing affordable and accessible renewable energy solutions to rural communities in Kenya. So how they do this is they offer solar home systems and clean cooking solutions that help reduce use of kerosene or firewood. They're helping carbon emissions. So Angaza Elimu is just one of them. And then there's Ecomoto. This is also another startup that is providing affordable, eco-friendly transportation solutions to urban areas of Kenya. They are providing motorcycles, bicycles, and reducing reliance on fossil fuel powered vehicles. So, they are providing and promoting urban mobility. So Ecomoto is also another one. Sun Culture is a third startup that you're going to focus on today. And Sun Culture develops solar-powered irrigation systems for smallholder farmers in Kenya. And their innovative technology enables farmers to access clean energy for irrigation and also increase their crop yields. So these are three companies that we are really proud of. And also there's one that I really, really love, this Takataka Solutions. This is a waste solution management startup that offers collection and recycling services for organic and inorganic waste in urban areas of Kenya. So they help divert, waste from landfills to promoting recycling, and they contribute to mitigating climate change and reducing environmental pollution. So people, there was a lot that is happening within the ecosystem, and some of the companies or startups that are taking the initiative to be part of this conversation and ensuring that, there is people, let's say, for example, people who are pickers of the takataka in the landfills. These people need to have health insurance. They need to have protective gear when they're collecting their waste. And this whole ecosystem is triggered by one thing: waste. So waste management is a big conversation that we have in the country, and we need justice for everyone who's involved, from the ripple effect, from the people who are picking, to the people who are recycling, to the people who are consuming the recyclables. We need climate justice for all this. So all these intervention methods are just ways of ensuring that the ecosystem that we're living in is safe for the future to come. And like I said, climate justice is not just for the corporates. Individuals are also taking action. And I just received on my WhatsApp, I received an invite. I don't know how rightful this is for me to read this, but I'm going to just do a rundown about the invite. And it's all about a march. People are coming together and they're marching for economic and climate liberation on the 25th of May at Nyayo Stadium. And what they're talking about is, what they're asking for is everyone who's going to be attending, this particular march, they're asking for accountability, transparency, and inclusivity and justice in the development of projects and investments in the country. So, it's a march. It is very, very well planned. So they're asking guys to come there and just be part of it and be in solidarity and Pan-Africanism spirit and demand for economic and climate liberation by, so be part of that conversation on the 25th of May. That is Africa Day, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, right here at Nyayo Stadium, Green Park Terminus. And of course, they've sent us a link, so we're going to be sharing that. Hopefully that is right. Sometimes it is very difficult to be politically correct. So, but being part of this conversation is just to help us understand why why this conversation is right for this particular moment. So be part of this conversation. If you're going to be available on that day, be part of that conversation as well. And we believe that climate justice is not just a conversation for policies. It's a conversation that needs planning, that needs implementation, that needs constant monitoring and evaluation. And most importantly, the conversation needs to be actionable. You get. So whatever it is that we discuss, whatever it is that we need to do, needs to have an action point to it. And one action point is be part of the conversation, be part of the activities of planting trees, take action. I mean, be part of the conversation when you're working in solidarity, when you're talking about climate liberation. Be part of this conversation, because it is climate change is affecting everyone, regardless of whether you incorporate or not, whether you are an individual, whether you're from the affluent or from the poor. It is affecting everyone. So this conversation is not just to help you pass your back, no. It is to help you start taking action. And like we said, action is very simple intervention measures, very, very simple. And that is what we're wrapping up this show with. And we're asking you, what intervention methods or what intervention activities are you taking up as an individual to ensure that, you know, everyone around you is safe from the impacts of climate change? One, be part of the conversation. Two, ensure that, you know, you're implementing collaboration in your projects. Like I said, PPPs are very important. We are also talking about, you know, being part of the conversation by, you know, raising awareness. Raising awareness is one key thing, because not many people know what climate justice is. So if you're part of the conversation, you are part of raising awareness. So that is our key agenda. And I really want to take this opportunity to thank you for being part of this conversation on our WhatsApp. That has been +25478838030, and also those who stream live on iconradio.co.ke, and also on YouTube and Instagram and on Facebook, that is iconradio.ke. We really want to appreciate you and to thank you for, you know, being part of this conversation. And we believe that we are going to make a change. And remember, this particular week is really, really, really important, because we're going to have a lot of activities around not just climate action, but also sustainability. So look out for posters and information that we're going to be sharing out on all our social media platforms about what activities are happening within the sustainability space. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Thank you for joining me, Wanjira, right here on Sustainability on Icon Radio. Up until next time, I'll see you, and God bless.
You might think